Hello, we're alive. Hi, everybody. I'm Amanda Call. This is my channel. This is my comic. This here is a page from my webcomic Age of Night. This is chapter 30, page 7. We've worked on this for 3 streams so far, in which time we've gotten it all drawn. Last time we did the lettering and we set on some of the inks, and now we're going to continue on the inks, see how far we get tonight. It probably won't get finished tonight, but we'll get pretty close, and we'll see where we end up, if we end up needing another stream to finish this up, or if it will be close enough to be done that we don't do another full hour, but we'll see. So, to jump into it, I'm going to be continuing to do some of the inking with the pen. So I'm going to be using my Speedball Super Black and my G nib on the nice, kind of fat and squishy Tachikawa nib holder. Oh, and my ink is like the rim off very well, and it's like it's refusing to open. Oh, there we go. I just had to fight with it a little bit, and I want to clean that off before I put that away again. The edge is gummy. Blech. Okay. So I still have a few different things that require some drafting tools to take care of in the backgrounds here. Some straight edges, some French curves. So we're going to start with some of the straight edges, just using the edge of my little triangle here to kind of get a reasonably nice, clean, straight edge on all of these straight lines. I'm not going to worry about those stairs that much. That I will probably just freehand. Oh, runaway French curve. One is flying away from me. So what has been going on? Hope everyone has had a good week, had a good weekend. What have I been up to? That's a great question. What did I do last weekend? Hey, it's Joe Dent. Doing all right. How about you? All right. Of course I dropped the French curve that I need. I don't need the big one right now. I need the smaller one, and that's the one I dropped on the floor. So let's see. I've been trying desperately to get the first issue of Prophets of Doom like all drawn and inked. I'm like on the home stretch of getting it all drawn and inked so that I stay on schedule for getting the book out this fall. I'm almost there, but yeah, I've been kind of in like crunch mode on that. Uh, Spent a fair amount of time gardening this past week, which is always nice. Good. Another sweltering day in England. Yes, It is also a heat wave here. I'm in the Northeast, so also on the East Coast, like your friends in Virginia. And yeah, it's a freaking miserable because like yeah, it was up to 96 degrees Fahrenheit today. Um, I don't know what that converts to. Hold on. I know how to Google Fair Fahrenheit. There we go. Fahrenheit to Celsius. So 96. Ugh, woof. Yeah. It was 96 degrees Fahrenheit here today, which is 35.5 Celsius. Freaking hot, especially for New England, where our houses are built to stay warm in the winter, where, normally we deal with it being cold. We don't normally deal with it getting to be almost 100 degrees here. That's ridiculous. So yeah, today was a lot of like, let's just hide inside in the air conditioning. And like I'm from New England, but I spent a fair amount of time living in the South where it's that hot like all summer, and I don't terribly mind the heat. Obviously, you gotta like be careful about how you like conduct yourself in it so you don't hurt yourself. But I don't really mind it being warm. But like, of course, everyone in my family is like, no, we have to turn the AC up to a bajillion and keep it super cold in here. And I'm like, please, no, I don't want to actually be cold. I don't want to be cold inside when it is super hot outside. And also, our electric bill is going to be $8,000 million. What are you? But yeah, it was pretty hot here yesterday. It was very, very hot today. And it's supposed to still be pretty warm tomorrow. And then I think it's supposed to break. So shouldn't last too much longer. But yeah, we're not equipped for it here. We're not equipped for it like logistically or like mentally. No one knows what to do. Everyone just ceases to function. Hey, hungry. All right. I'm gonna come back down here. Try to get some of these curved pieces done. But yeah, most of my last week has just been trying to get a bunch of work done, and that's pretty much what this week looks like as well. Mhm. I did go to the Orono Arts Fest this past weekend. I did not exhibit at that one because I don't know, a lot of these like local festivals that I have some interest in going to, it's like they always sneak up on me. I completely forget that it's like, oh yeah, that's a thing that's coming up soon, and people will be like, oh, are you going to be like exhibiting at this show or that show, like this festival or that festival? And I'm like, no, nope, totally forgot that was a thing. Because there's like a little hometown festival that happens like just a couple miles away from me every year, and every year I forget, and then it happens, and I'm like, oh yeah, I could have probably had a booth at that, but I did not. I just keep forgetting about it. But the Orono Arts Fest was really cute. It was a nice little like, they closed off a little side street downtown in Orono, and there were, like, a bunch of really nice little, like, crafts and some fine artists selling prints and nice variety of stuff. There was one, artist who was selling these. It was like they were like pottery shards that she had actually found, like, mudlarking where there used to be a dam on the Penobscot River, and it had just that dam had caused, like, had made a little reservoir, and when the dam was removed, the reservoir sunk back down and just turned into, like, stream again, and people had been using it as, like, a garbage dump for decades, and so there was just, like, tons and tons of just, like, all these shards of, like, different, like, pottery and place settings and just all sorts of stuff, and so she, like, went around and collected all the, like, interesting little shards and everything, and that's what she made, like, jewelry and little, like, decorative pieces and everything out of. It was really cool. It was really cool, and I saw a couple of pieces I really liked. They were out of my budget, unfortunately, but it was just a neat thing to see anyway. I thought it was a cool idea. And I have also just, like, I was like, "Oh, yeah, I can kind of relate to this," because I've found, like, bits of old plates and stuff and bottles and things like that just in my garden, like, turning up dirt just because people have lived in on this property for so long, and, before there was a town dump or garbage service or anything like that, people just kinda tossed stuff out past the edge of the yard, and we're like, "Whatever, not gonna worry about it." And so I find all sorts of weird stuff in the ground sometimes, and it's just kinda neat. It's like more like recent era archaeology, I guess you could call it. Sort of like that joke of like, what is the difference between grave robbing and archaeology? Except it's what is the difference between trash picking and archaeology? And then, oh yeah, Monday I was at work forever doing budget meeting stuff at my day job, but that's okay. We're like done with budget meeting stuff now, which is good. And then the next big thing will be like the end of the year town meeting, but that's okay. That's We'll get through it. All right, I'm going to take a little break from the drafting tools for a second. We're going to jump back down here and just work on some of this situation. I did not finish doing the little texture behind Drake here. We've got some of the stuff we can also work on. So we're going to work down on this last tier for a little bit and just do some freehand inking. Take a little break from using those tools for a second. Almost forgot we hadn't like finished doing the background inking on this particular panel. $35 is just silly. Yeah, 31 where you are, that is ridiculously hot for England. Yeah. Yeah, 35 is in fact just silly. I was not a fan. That's pretty darn silly for here. 31 is pretty hot for here too. Not like unheard of, but usually that for a little while in like August. It's not usually something we're dealing with in mid-June. All right. Hey, there we go. There's the background on that one is done now. Oh, other just silly, I can do silly and updates. There you go. That's something we always all enjoy. Uh so one silly animal update. While my male rabbit Hermes is the one who is usually the criminal, Artemis, the female rabbit, has decided that she is going to be a menace as far as harassing the cats. So like our two cats, Jackie and Rose. Jackie just kind of like when the rabbits are out doing what we call bunny time, when like we clean the cage and we let them run around and have some time just kind of like free to roam around supervised in the house, stretch their little legs and do their zoomies and their binkies and everything. And Jackie, the older of the two cats, she will just like when the bunnies are out, she just kind of like finds a high place and just stays there and watches them and is like, I do not want to be involved in this. I'm going to watch you and I kind of want to murder you, but I'm not going to come near them. This it does look like the graphic novel you read called Age of Night, their story comic. That's because this is some of the latest pages of Age of Night. This is going to be coming out in a couple of weeks on the website. What will eventually be volume 5 of Age of Night. Volume 4 is finally out now. But anyway, goofy animal story. So, Jackie just kind of keeps her distance and watches the whole affair. Does not actually interact with the rabbits at all. Rose, the younger of the two cats, has decided that she is curious enough about the rabbits that she wants to like get close and see what's going on. And she's kind of like gotten a little bit close and done like little, hey, it's Alan. I am the Amanda Call. I wouldn't say I'm famous, but at least some people know who I am. Oh, that reminds me of another fun story that someone just told me. I'll get to that one next. But and there's an Alan Barr in the audience. But anyway, so Rose has decided she wants to interact with the bunnies. So she has actually gotten like close to Artemis and they've done the little snoot kisses where they like sniff each other. And it looks like they do a little kiss. Uh, and that was fine, but she's still not really sure about the the whole thing. Hey, Spud. Thanks so much for joining me. Because it's like, this looks like it should be a giant prey animal. Like this should be a prey animal. I should be able to eat it, but it's as big as I am. I don't understand. Like this is weird. My little tiny cat brain cannot compute. And so she'll like get a little bit close and sniff, but then she'll kind of back off and be like, okay, I'm just going to observe. But Artemis has decided that no, when Rose tries to back off, that is not how she is not going to leave it there. She's then going to like charge at her. At which point Rose just completely freaks out and is like, oh my God, it's coming at me. And will try to run away. And then Artemis will chase her. It's just very silly. And it's like you're running away from the bunny. She's not actually going to do anything to you, but okay. Okay. So now whenever they're out and Artemis sees Rose and she's just like, "Oh, I got to go mess with her." Okay, so Barney, you just reminded me of this other story that I just heard someone just told me today, which was kind of funny. So, my friend and collaborator Jeremy Flagg, he's the one who wrote I Am the First. And we're from the same went to the same high school, from the same area in the middle of nowhere, Maine, and are good friends. And he has a book series, The Bears of Firefly Valley, and one of the characters is like it is based on me, sort of like a very like, fictionalized version of me. Um, he was just like, I'm just gonna give her your same name. And part of that is because it's like a tie-in where my character in his novels, in his romance novels, is also a comic artist, and what I'm working on is the comic that we did together. So it's like a way for him to tie his different literary universes together, which is kind of cute. That's kind of besides the point. But apparently, because he was just like, I'm not gonna bother coming up with a different name for you. It's just you. It's just Amanda Call. Apparently, he has a fan whose name is also Amanda Call, who messaged him and was like talking to him about like how she likes his books and everything, and he was super duper confused for a hot minute because he was like, "What? No, you're not Amanda Call. You're not my friend Amanda Call. What is this?" And when he told me this, I was like, "Yeah, so fun fact, I actually found another Amanda Call on Facebook and we have the same birth date, like the exact same birthday, only she lives in like a different state from me." And we agreed we should not ever meet because the universe might collapse. Um, but because I found that one Amanda Call, who very strangely had the same birth date as me, uh, I then also was just like, okay, well, now I'm curious. And I looked it up on the Social Security Administration's website. And apparently there are 13 Amanda Calls in the United States. So this says nothing of Amanda Calls that might be living internationally. I know, isn't that weird, Joe? It was extremely strange. I thought at first it was like this when I found the profile, I was like, oh, somebody must have like spoofed my profile. And then I'm looking through it, I'm like, no, she's a real person. We just have the exact same name and birth date. Very weird. I mean, I imagine her middle name is probably different from mine. It wasn't on her profile, but that would be super extra weird because I have an uncommon middle name. Like not weird, but just not super common. No, I think we should not meet because what if the universe collapses? What if the universe just caves in on itself because we met? It's too much. It was too much to handle. But yeah, I was like, well, it's very strange that you happened to end up with another one of these Amanda Calls as one of your fans, but there are 13 of us in the United States, so I guess it's not impossible. Just super, super slim odds. I wouldn't say I'm famous, but I'm probably the most easily Googleable of any of them. So I guess there's that. All the other Amanda Calls, somebody probably goes to Google them and they're like, yeah, I was trying to Google you and I just found this like weird artist lady. Yep, you sure did. Sorry, guys. Or you're welcome, I guess, if you don't want to be Googled. Send her a birthday card. If Amanda there the second doesn't get me a card, you will know that I'm the greatest Amanda Call, not like Amanda Call the lesser. That's great. Maybe we'll get a better universe, one where we all have wings and candy. Oh, that could be nice. Uh, Other animal story, not like zany and funny, but we've been trying to get guinea fowl again since like 2 years ago now. All our guinea fowl got eaten by a weasel, and we really miss having them. They're fun. They're fun little dinosaurs. They're extremely noisy, I will say. If you're considering getting guinea fowl and you live anywhere near other people, do not. They're so loud. I'm used to it, but you know. Ooh, you got a freelance lettering gig. That's awesome, Alan. That is so cool. Can you tell us, what it's for, or is it a secret? And we have a comment from Marco Scundum. Thank you very much. And he says it's 41 degrees Fahrenheit or 5 degrees Celsius in Brazil? Really? Oh, wow. Must be like up high somewhere or very far south or both. Proof of concept for an upcoming Kickstarter. Awesome. Yeah, your graphic design work is really good, so I'm not surprised, but that's really cool for you. I'm excited for you. I always love your text treatments on like everything that you do. Your text treatments are always so good. You are not terrible at it. Stop. Stop. Clearly, someone else thinks you're good at it too because you just got hired to do it. So there you go. Okay, we're going to do just a little bit of like a gradient background for this particular panel as they're having a little interpersonal silent connection moment here. Doing that like we're just gonna exchange a look. We're not gonna say anything. We're just gonna look at each other. We're having a moment here where we're communicating silently. Oh yeah, I was trying to tell you about the guinea birds. Anyway, so oh, you saw 28 Years Later. Nice. I also saw that this past weekend. That's what I did on Friday. It was good. It was stressful. Like, those types of movies stress me out. I'm just like, the zombie's gonna eat you. Like, like logically, the main character's probably gonna be fine, but the whole time when the zombie's like almost about to eat them, I'm still just like stressing out the whole time. Um, Also, man, lots of big mom feels. I I did enjoy it, but yes, oh my gosh, all of the big mom feels. That was a rough movie to watch as a mom, let me tell you. Not something that most of the folks in this, audience right now can relate to, but it was a different experience, I think, than probably you had watching it as a mom specifically. Like, as a parent, sure, but as a mom specifically, especially, like, having a son about that same age where it's just like, "Oh my god." Like, I could so see so much of what happened here happening. So much of just like, "Yes, this is a 12-year-old boy behavior. This is exactly how this would play out." Oh, yeah. Yeah, I could believe it. Okay, I think that's most of the nib inking on all the lower tiers. I'd need to come back to this one, which I just keep kind of picking away at because obviously it's the biggest and has the most things going on. It's gonna require the most inking work up here. So I've just been kinda procrastinating on it a little bit. their little armor skirts done. Terriges. I only had to look that word up about 8,000 million times before it finally stuck in my brain. So yeah, guinea birds. We'd been trying to get guinea birds last year. We had no luck getting guinea fowl chicks. Just did not happen. Nobody had them in stock. Could not get a hold of them. And my mother-in-law this year was like, "No, I really want guinea fowl again." And especially like the ticks are so bad. They're so bad this year. And like the chickens help a little bit, but guinea birds really help to keep them under control. They really love to eat ticks, and so they help a lot with that. Um, and they're fun. They're fun little dinosaurs. They're loud and ridiculous and stupid, and I love their stupid little faces so much. They're adorable, stupid, wonderful little dinosaurs. And so we really missed having them and did not have a lot of luck trying to get them again. And my mother-in-law has been like just absolutely pounding the pavement on Facebook Marketplace trying to find guinea fowl chicks for us. She's been messaging so many different people who have been hatching them out, and it kept on being like the same thing over and over again as people would be like, "Oh, I'm hatching some." And we'd be like, "Great. Like let us know when they're ready and we'll buy some from you." And then we'd check back in with them around the date that they said and they'd be like, "Yeah, none of them actually hatched." It's like, "Oh, come on." So we were just not having a lot of luck there, and then finally she finally managed to get 3 guinea fowl chicks. Oh, I actually looked it up, Joe, on IMDb. It's still just called, because I was like, "Oh, they're doing, like they have to be doing more of these, like, what are they gonna do next?" The I guess this one is launching, like, a trilogy, and it's just gonna be 28 years later, and then the other 2 are just gonna have, like, parentheses or, colon, whatever the next chapter is called. So I think the next one is called The Bone Temple. And that's just kinda what they're gonna do. It's gonna be like 28 years later, colon, the Bone Temple, because obviously it left off very much with like a, "Hey, we're gonna continue, like, this story is not done yet. We're gonna keep going with this exact story." Alright, do your work, Ellen. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm curious to see where it goes, and it'll be interesting to see what the other characters that they introduced at the very end, like, what is going on here? What is this? This is a very wild last minute turn for this movie to take. Just trying to clean off a little extra crustiness from my pen nib. Got more little wall texture. Do, 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 do. Try to differentiate between these two sections of wall here a little bit more. That tone is getting very samey. And of course, now my pen is full of paper bits. Clean it off again. More wall texture. All the little dots forever. Yeah, see, this is why I was putting this panel off, because it's the slowest going of all of them, because there's a lot to it. That's okay. We will get there. It's just taking a while. have some stairs. We're making progress. All right, we've got Kamaria back here pushing around some bits of wood. We'll go ahead and get her inked. She's helping. The same pen. What? Really? Craziness. Okay. I was like, "What? That's wild." But the same pen, it's a good pen. I love this one. I've tried lots of pens, and I love this one so much. It's a good one. One of my friends in high school had the same birthday as me, and I was always like, "That's not real. That can't actually be your birthday." He was kinda weird, so it was entirely possible that he was messing with me, but it was like, "No, that was actually his birthday. We had the same birthday." Weird coincidence. And, like, my husband and I, our birthdays are, like, 11 days apart. Actual days, actual literal time days. We were born 11 days apart from each other. About as close to being the same age as you can really be. Alright, so we're in the last 10-ish minutes. I'm going to go over the YouTube things as we approach the end of the stream here, and just remind you, I'm Amanda Call. This is my channel here on YouTube. I do these streams just about every Tuesday at 8 PM Eastern, so if you'd like to join me, then you should hit the subscribe button, like the video, all that good stuff. Tell YouTube, "Yes, please let me know when this person is going live and when their channel does updates." Just in case I have to reschedule or anything like that, or I'm running late. If you're subscribed, then if I have to cancel or reschedule, I'll usually post, like, a community, like, post on there to let you know, and it'll, your notifications will be like, "Hey, this person's going live. You should go tune in." So, that can be helpful. The comic that I'm working on here is my webcomic, Age of Night. You can read the whole thing for free online at ageofnight.com. That's AGEOFNIGHT.com. New comic pages coming every week. And I just started chapter 30 online. This will be a little bit later, coming up a few pages later in chapter 30. And while you can read the whole thing for free, there are also ways that you can support me. You can buy copies of the first 4 volumes of Age of Night on Amazon, on skirmisher.com for a nice high quality PDF version, on the various One Bookshelf sites. That's Drive Through Comics, Drive Through RPG, and Drive Through Fiction. So you got options. If you happen to see me at an event in person, I can sign you a copy and hand it to you. And I can also do that like via online sales. Within the US, international shipping is like a super big pain though. Love you all so much, but none of us need to pay that kind of money. You don't need to pay that kind of money just to have me sign your book. That's ridiculous. You can also support me on Patreon, and that can be found at patreon.com/ageofnight. Patrons always get their Age of Night pages a week early, so I just posted the first page of chapter 30 publicly last week, and that means that patrons already have gotten to read page 2. And this week when I post page 2 publicly, they will get to read page 3. It's pretty sweet. You also get other like behind the scenes peeks at Age of Night pages and other stuff I'm working on, free comics for signing up, and it's also just I really appreciate it. It helps me out a lot. Helps to support me. You can also follow me on the various social media platforms. I'm active on them to varying degrees depending on how much each individual platform is irritating me at the time slash being difficult to use. Currently, I'm most active on Instagram and Blue Sky, where you can find me as either Amanda Call Art or Age of Night, respectively. And what do I have coming up? Nothing this coming weekend. Well, nothing I'm like exhibiting at this coming weekend, but the following weekend, July 5th, is going to be the Bangor Sidewalk Art Festival, where I will have a booth. That is always a really good show if you happen to be in the area. Definitely worth checking out. Um, and the week after that, the weekend of July 12th, I will be in Burlington, Vermont for the New England Odd and Unusual show. Looking forward to that. That's usually a really fun show. There's so much cool stuff there. That's one of those like I have to be careful at that type of show to make money and not just spend all my money because there's so much cool stuff there. All right, that brings us to a pretty good stopping point for this evening. I'm pretty close to being done with the background, like nib inking. I'll decide whether we'll see how this week goes, whether I finish up the nib inking off stream and then just do the brush on stream next week, or if we just continue straight through on the stream next week. But either way, this is where we're at this point. Thanks so much for hanging out with me this evening. I will see you all next time. Bye.